Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the third installment of Doobert Discussion. I am Apollo Kage,
And I'm Icon.
and during the month of April, we went to a lot of tournaments. More specifically, the biggest U.S. ones, because I know this month actually has been active a lot. I know Kagaribi just started, and there was also a big European tournament that happened. So it's just like there's so much going on. But Icon went to Genesis. I went to Pound, and we both went to Low Tide. So we'll basically each be able to give our perspectives on the tournaments that we went to separately and the tournament we went to together.
Yeah. So it's been a pretty crazy 3 months. As you guys have probably seen, there hasn't been a Doobert discussion since before Genesis Week started,
Yes.
which is going to be kind of insane because that was around
Oh.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But we've been
So
busy. We've been getting back into it. So it's going to be very exciting to just recap, give our thoughts, just really anything. I've got my camera roll already ready and loaded so I could just look through and just reminisce on what's happened in the past 3 weeks. But
oh
yeah, it's
my
pretty crazy.
goodness. Like I know I was super excited to go to Genesis. Unfortunately, didn't end up being able to go, but Icon over here making crazy, crazy run that I'm sure he'll be happy to talk about
Oh
and
man, I've
elaborate on.
talked about this run so many times. I feel like it's still not even real, but that's gonna be fun. I'm more excited to actually hear about your Pound story because I feel like I
Oh,
didn't hear a
okay.
lot about what happened at Pound. Even
Oh,
though, yeah,
it was definitely a fun tournament. Definitely be willing to go in, share like who I played, what I was able to learn. Because I did a decent amount of grinding. Like I think on the Saturday, a pound alone, I played for like 8 hours. Visitor with a sub, thank you, homie. Um, yeah, I played for 8 hours alone on Saturday, and it was just like honestly a very fun experience getting to meet everyone, see everyone again, and just play so much Smash. Especially after missing Genesis, so the motivation is flowing through me after seeing all that tournament go down. But overall, yeah, great month for Smash Brothers. Really fun time. Got to meet a lot of cool people, play a lot of people because I went to two different tournaments, so I got like I want to say both sides of the U.S. at that point. It's like you got Maryland players and Texas players, so you get to compare, how the neutral goes and what the differences are. But in general, like I'll kind of lead into this, coming from Chicago, playing everyone there. How was it different whenever you went to Genesis? You had like the international talent. Like, did the neutral feel more in depth? Was it like, did you have to be more patient? How was it?
oh man. So coming from the Midwest, where everyone likes to call Chicago the advantage state, region, where we just have a crazy advantage state and a terrible disadvantage state. I was coming into Northern California, San Jose, around 3 weeks ago, and I think the first distinction I got was that, oh my god, these players are so tricky with their disadvantage choices, which I had not seen before. They were making like Lucina would be in the air and she'd be trying to land, whether it was like French Leon or Tyranks from SoCal, and they would just like mix me so hard. I don't know if it was like just air drift or it was just like their movement, but that's the first thing that I think of is that their disadvantage was like comfortable. Like they were used to getting like destroyed and they would just find a way to land. And if they were still holding their stocks, they were happy. So that was the first thing I thought of. Another thing is that there were so many people at Genesis. Like I think somebody was
Mm-hmm.
telling me that Genesis had almost twice as much of the entrance as Pound and Low Tide together, which was like I didn't realize there were that many people, but there were so many
I
people there.
think it was like 2000, like 1900, 2000, around like that
Yeah,
exact area. It was nuts.
nuts to just see how many people were there. And then going from that to low tide was like really weird because it's just like scaled down completely, but like all the attention had risen up after the Cinderella run. So I don't know. I think I've said a lot about Genesis. I'm gonna keep it a little bit briefer than usual, but um, I think that was like the first time where I felt like there was so much exposure and like eyes on me for the first time. Like it was just like everybody was. I'm not a very like social media person. For those of you who don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I don't have my own Twitter. I don't have much social media. I kind of just like hang out with my own person, do my own things, right? The big thing to me was just like after that run, the after party after is what I'm gonna remember the most. Guildhouse. Everybody was just like hanging out, congratulating each other for their runs. I got to meet so many people. And that was when I really felt like the exposure had like hit its peak because I was meeting so many people. And this was just like a completely different like experience because I'm used to being, the guy who is kind of just playing in his Midwest region. He's enjoying, he's having fun, right? Doesn't have too many online or social media presence or friends, so he just kind of hangs out with his in-person community and enjoys, right?
Yep.
Going from that before the weekend to I'll just see how I do into like a stellar performance, beating some really great players.
Insane run.
Insane run,
Yeah.
yeah. It changed a lot about like perspective and how the community kind of operates around like really supportive people and really nice people in general. So it was a lot of fun. Um, Still a crazy run. Still annoyed the VODs are not on YouTube. Genesis
No,
was
no.
lacking. Oh my god.
They got.
Uh,
I want to see those odds. I want to see the run.
Everybody wants to see those VODs. Oh my god. No, everyone wants to see Tweak ESAM too. Nobody has seen Tweak ESAM. That's
Oh
just
yeah,
somewhere on the hard
because
drive.
they had the Aver Media stuff on the top 64 setups, right? So I actually think at low tide there was some of that too. Like for example, the offline set I had with Cosma later in the run that was recorded, so that'll probably be uploaded to YouTube as well. I want to see your ESAM set. I want to see this fabled Cosmos set I've been hearing
Oh
about.
no, everybody's been hearing about the Cosmos set, dude. I think that's definitely something that's very, very interesting. But
Oh, I can't wait.
actually, no, they did have the Aver Media at low tide because I have a Goblin set that got recorded, which we played for 49th. That was quite funny. But we'll get into that later.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're bleeding into other tournaments. But I'm looking at the Genesis 8 bracket, and top 64 was a bloodbath, bro. Like actually a bloodbath. I think it's kind of insane that how many players were there and just kind of like destroyed each other. Like this losers bracket looks awful.
The
Um,
tournament seems so hard, man. Like just watching outside in, like oh my goodness.
yeah, I think the craziest thing about this all was that I was like probably the least nervous I think I'd ever been in any tournament because I was already like satisfied with the run. I was like, oh, I made it to top 64. That was the goal, right? And then I just kept playing and sitting at the same setup, and then
You're like,
crazy things.
ah, top 48, that's the goal. Ah, top 32, top like 12. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. That's
It's a
kind of
good
how the run went.
it's a good mental to have because like there's no extra pressure on, like the further you go, you're just doing your thing, and if it keeps working, it keeps working.
Exactly. I think separating those, we'll talk about external factors later.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I was the most focused on the game I had ever been, and that was the best class I've ever played in my life, personally. So crazy run, ninth out of 1959 for those of you who are curious.
Oh my
That was kind
goodness.
of a crazy, for the specifics, crazy run. But
Phew.
I feel like it wasn't even just me that had like a crazy run. I'm looking through this bracket, like Cola had a good losers run, Aaron had a great losers run, Yanni had a great losers run. Oh man, like Orion from EU, right? International talent really came through the tournament, and it's kind of crazy that it's so good we're talking about it 3 months later or
Yep.
3 weeks later. Sorry, yeah.
Like it's definitely very, very exciting. But
I feel like it kind of started off the real like summer of Smash, even though April is not really in summer.
yeah,
It kind of just felt like so many people were there.
I could definitely see like we're not in the summer season technically right now, but it's like we're finally getting back to like in-person majors more frequently and like just like 3 majors in 1 month. That's kind of it's been a minute since that was a thing. So it's like the kind of like just the time of Smash in general, I'd say. It's like things are getting back into normal form. We're having multiple majors and like you're really getting to see like how players are evolving from tournament to tournament and how like different matchups can determine a run and all that good stuff. Except for Leo and Gluto and Spargo, like the three of them have really been like the trio of consistency lately. And I think, for example, like I think Tweak's gonna bounce back for sure. Like he's got like there's no way he's honestly could be still be like top. He's probably top five no matter what. But like Light has been impressing me a lot too. Like just all these like players able to take on 80, 90 matchups and just like consistently do it over and over. It's just like the respect for that is immeasurable because this game's hard and there's so many little things. It's kind of like literally, I've heard people say this before, but it's quite like literally a book of knowledge.
Yes.
Like you need to write every little single thing down and know every little interaction because the difference between knowing like how villager tree works can be the difference between the top 8 at Evo or not Evo actually to Smash not Evo but top 8 at like SmashCon and like 49th because you lost to a villager player. So it's just like stuff like that, just knowing all those little checks. It's like really amazing to just see that unfold.
and there's so much experience that you need to have. And with 80 characters, over 2,000 like moves, right? And all those moves have different safeties on shield and different end lags, and they interact with certain characters differently than others. Like, why does electric trip super heavies on shield? I don't know. Anyway, like little things like that is just it drives the meta, right?
Yeah.
And people say it's a knowledge check, right? But you could study every single move in the game. But I think if you don't really know how to apply against those moves in real time in a tournament setting, when there's a crowd behind you, it gets even harder.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy.
Because
I
like,
think.
um,
What's up?
pardon me. You go. You go.
You're good. You're good. I wasn't
Okay.
gonna say anything.
I was gonna say like, I feel like pressure determines whether you just studied it or whether you learned it, right? If you
Mhm.
study it and there's pressure, but you didn't really retain the stuff you studied, you're not going to be able to apply the counterplay in real time, like you were saying. But like if you know it, then you're going to be able to do it even with the pressure. Like for example, at I know I'm skipping a little bit into low tide, but like when I was playing against Shu, she's a great zero suit player from Colorado,
Mhm.
and plays against my good buddy Kronos a lot. So she knows the snake matchup. But like I know the zero suit matchup very well because my homie Vessel O, shout out to Vessel O, he's a zero suit from St. Louis. Made me very good at the matchup by beating me over and over in it. But anyways, basically even with the pressure of the whole low tide crowd behind me, I was still parrying like zero suit moves repeatedly. Like just like parries, right? If you know when the move is coming, like oh I know zero suit back air is a single hit, but if you can't actually get the parry in tournament pressure, it doesn't matter. But I could still get the parries because you just played enough and you're truly comfortable. You're so comfortable you can like transcend the pressure that's set on top of the knowledge check. And I feel like the consistency like that is the key to consistency. So being able to do that with 80 plus characters like Leo and Spargo do, it's insane. Because like
Exactly.
not only do they know it right, but they're comfortable in execution of counterplay. Like that's just like a whole nother level that's like applied to so many more situations and different like concepts and scenarios. It's just wild to see.
And you really have to give props to those three. I mean, five, even if we count light and
Yeah,
tweak, just being able to just like control themselves and be able to just like see situation and be so confident in it through their innate like humane ability, right?
yeah,
That stuff is so insane to see. And I want to say that that's like something that comes through experience, right? You'll be very comfortable, and eventually you'll just reach a point where you have so much like knowledge flowing through your head, you'll just get it down every single time, right?
yeah,
But it also might just come down to like honestly, humans play different every single day. Some days you might be able to tap
yeah,
perfect, mindset
yeah,
and be okay. And then other days you might just, not really know what's going on, get a little bit greedy, maybe you didn't eat that much, now you're more hungry, you want to just like get in on the opponent,
yeah.
might be thinking a little bit slower. These things happen. But no matter the conditions, those top five are top five for a reason, and they can do it on any given day.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like in general, also, I'm interested to see how European tournaments are going, and especially Japan is having Kagaribi 7. Pardon me if I didn't say that right, but that tournament's happening, and I actually think I was watching it yesterday a little bit before I went to bed. I think Yez, former Missouri resident, now residing in Japan, got 97th there. So like that's pretty decent because Japan is full of killers, and I know he had to play some pretty tough matchups. Like I know Ike Rob's pretty tough, and he had to fight a Joker to make it out of pools, and that's also tough. So it's like good stuff to Yez. Hope to see him at more stuff. But honestly, I saw Prodic in chat earlier talk about Dio and Shogun there. Those are going to be like the snake representatives. I'm actually not sure if there's any like Shoto representatives there, like maybe Takara, but I don't. Are there any like
Oh,
Ryus in
in
Japan?
Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Oh.
Funny you mentioned it. There was a Japanese, I think it was super regional or like small major. I don't remember what it was called.
Okay.
I don't remember the name, but there was a Japanese Ryu that Takeda told me to keep my eye on at Genesis. Name was Asimo, Asimo,
Okay.
and he actually got second, losing only to Shuton, I believe.
There
So
you
he,
go.
yeah, so he's like the new up and coming Japanese Ryu, which is kind of insane
The World
because
Warriors. Let's
the
go.
exactly, right? It's funny that you mentioned that because hopping back over to Genesis, we're just hopping all over tournaments
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
I was talking to Takeda through a Japanese translator, and I asked him, "What is a shoto from Japan besides yourself that I should keep my eye on?" and he said Asimo has been on the rise. He's going to make waves. Be ready for it. And I was like, all right, sure, I'll keep my eye on this Asimo guy, right? Turns out he gets second, beating a bunch of really great players and loses only to Shuton, who is really literally like a top 20 player in the world, right? That stuff is insane to me that it's cool to see other representatives do it with my character. I feel like I've been unlucky in the case that I picked a character that doesn't have a lot of representatives, but he's also one of the coolest characters in the game, so you
Hey, yo,
know.
let's get it. Let's get it.
But yeah, no. So huge shout outs to Asimo. Hopefully he can come over to the U.S. sometime, or some U.S. representatives going to Japan like Yez. But I think the craziest thing is playing international is hard, and I feel like nobody talks about it.
Yeah,
But
just like traveling
yeah,
alone, honestly, is a great one on there. Like the fatigue from like traveling not only across from like Chicago to LA, but like Japan to the US, Europe to the US, Europe to Japan. Like that stuff's so hard.
and you're sitting on a plane for 12 to 14 hours. You're jet lagged, and you have to play against playstyles that you probably have never seen, right? Because they're only playing in America, right? I think the US scene is really lucky because we're privileged to have like so many great players come to us, and we're just playing on our home turf all the time. And you don't see a lot of American talent go out into like, EU or like France or Japan, right? Or
Yeah,
even like Australia or Latin America. You don't get to see that because their scenes are smaller, so they come to us. But
for sure.
I think it'd be really cool to see some more American players fly out and go international and just see how that feels, honestly.
Yeah, I know personally, I definitely plan to try and go out to EU, especially Canada as well. Especially like I want to attend a Smash Factor in the next few years if possible, and I'm also
Mhm.
trying to go to a Kaguribi in Japan. But
Nice.
like just trying to go all over whenever possible. But right now, yeah, I actually I was thinking about that this weekend with like all the tournaments being in the U.S. Like even if we don't have the best run at one, we go home. We're only a 4 hour flight away at like the very most. Usually it's between like an hour and a half to 3 hours. You can
Mhm.
just fly back home and like reset. When these people like you gotta go through like just the everything the process of getting back when you're not just flying to another state in the US is just so much harder as well. So there's like stress on top of that. So it's just like the amount of stress on the international players is so high that I actually think it would be really interesting to see everyone from the US, how they would do out there. Because, like, you have people like Leo's gone to other countries a few times and still done really well. But he's also had some times, like when he was picking up Joker, I think he went to a Japan tournament and got like 33rd that one time. So it's like, you never know how it's going to be, especially when you're not in your home environment. So I think it would be really interesting to see how like people from the US would do if they had to, go to Japan to compete for a major because that's where everyone was going, or go to Europe instead. Um,
It'd be a lot of fun to just kind of see how American talent stacks
yes,
up
yes,
when
yes.
they're the one traveling, right?
For sure, for sure. Just say, maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. You never know. Like that's kind of one of the things I feel like we'd just be able to find out. Not only information about the U.S. players themselves, but it would also help us give like more of an idea on the Japanese and European players traveling over here, right? Because we have U.S. people traveling there, so we can see it if it has like a drastic effect on them because they're not in their
Yeah,
home turf anymore.
exactly. It's just, one of the more many, facets of Ultimate you never really think about is like you see the bracket and you see, oh, Yanni beat Meister 3-1. Yanni went Steve, Meister went Sora, game on watch, right?
Yeah.
You don't think about, all those individual games, what the players did to get to that place, right? You just look at the set count, you say 3-1, and that's it, right? Like
Yep.
I have the Japanese bracket opened up right now, right? You don't really see what goes on behind those numbers, and that can lead to a lot of like unnecessary like comments because a lot of people just aren't informed of what tournament players have to go through. But it'd be cool to see that taken to a new degree with international talent. Random question: have you ever been out of the country before?
No, personally, I haven't.
Ooh, okay,
What about you?
cool. I have, yeah, multiple
Oh,
times.
okay.
Last time was Australia right before COVID.
Wow. How was
Yeah,
that?
really fun. It was like my high school graduation kind of like celebration. So I kind of got to hang out with family and go out and travel, and I kind of miss it because it was probably one of my coolest places I've ever been to.
Do you plan
So,
to return there?
honestly, I'd love to. It was just I wasn't even going for Smash or anything. I was just going to hang out, and I was like, man, I miss international talent of just like international traveling. It's so special. Like you don't really get that very often. So going for like a week was really really fun.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, I definitely plan to go to Europe in the future. I really want to go to Japan at least once. I
Oh
just want to,
yes,
like, I've never been there. I want to see there. Just, just, I feel like it'd be a really fun experience, especially like cherry blossom trees and stuff like that. There's just like some stuff I want to see in Japan. I feel like it'd just be a really cool to compare them. Compare the U.S. Japan whenever you get there, and just like get a new perspective on everything in general. Because like for example, when I went to Texas for the first time this weekend, didn't expect it to be that windy in Texas. Like I did not expect there to be that much wind. Everyone always talks about how hot it is in Texas, and I think we went to it during a certain time, right? But still, like that was really windy, so I was not expecting that. So it's just like little stuff like that, you don't think about it much, but it's just like how I would have never known that if I didn't go to Texas. Like I wouldn't have known it was that windy. I wouldn't have known the small stuff, the little stuff.
nobody thinks about that. I mean, I come from the windy city literally, and I was like, wow, there's a lot more wind here than I thought. It was still very
Literally,
warm and great, but I was like, man, there's wind, right? It was
yeah.
very nice though. This was great. Super good.
Okay,
Uh,
so
I don't know.
anyways, like well, just
Are we,
thoughts about
are we,
Genesis
yeah,
overall. Like we got to cut that off.
yeah, I know. We kind of just jumped around for a little bit.
No worries.
I think Genesis was fun. Definitely felt like obviously it is like my breakout tournament, I guess technically. So I have to like really, I owe a lot to that. The run, the people I met, everybody was so cool. I'm very excited to see a lot of those faces again, whether it's like NorCal or like commentators or international talent.
Yep.
It was all really, really fun. Shout outs to especially Andres FN. Meeting him and meeting like international like Shoto players was really cool. He's trying to get sponsored. So if somebody has a sponsor in this Twitch chat, go sponsor Andres FN. Really
Hey
great
yo,
guy.
hit him up. Hit him
Um,
up.
sponsor him before me, please. Thank you.
Let's go like it.
No, yeah, it was really fun, and I think it really felt like the first time where I felt like a top level like threat in any shape or form for Smash, which was like a whole new feeling, and we're gonna see how that goes in the coming months. So very fun.
Okay, so I think now is where I will kind of get into Pound a little bit.
Yes.
Um, but I've been to like the Maryland, like Washington D.C. area, Virginia area. I've been there twice before. Been there for or actually three times, because I went SmashCon 2019. That was my first major,
Hmm.
and then I went to SmashCon Fall Fest, and I
Hmm.
went to Glitch as well.
Yes.
So those three majors are when I've been there before. Pound, it was a tournament series where a lot of like snake footage happened before, like, but that was before I traveled to majors. So like the previous Pound,
Mhm.
there's a lot of snake footage. So I definitely like it was one in mind that I wanted to go to. I kept an eye out for it. So when it was announced, I was excited to go. It was definitely a fun time. I got to like meet a lot of new people, talk to old friends more, just grind. Like got to grind with Dark Wizzy a lot. Got to grind with Chag a lot. So it was like overall just a great time, and got to see a lot of new people, meet a lot of new faces, play against a lot of new play styles, and it was definitely a bracket where I felt like I played up to standard, and I felt like in the sets that I lost, they were definitely doable. Because like one thing that I'm really grateful for that I'm able to like see in my play and myself is that in the past four sets I've lost at majors, none of them have been a 3-0.
That's really good.
So if you can take a game, you can take a set. So I feel like if I'm able to just study up on these VODs and study up on these matchups and the small stuff, like I was watching myself against Zomba at low tide, and I picked up on some stuff that I'm not going to go into here because I need to review it and get better at it before I mention more, because I want it to show in my gameplay. I don't want to speak it. I want to show it. But
Hmm.
in general, like having that feeling of being able to adapt and take games off these like top 15 top 10 players in the world, along with like just people who are also crazy on the up and coming, like myself. Like shout out to Sean for sure,
Yeah.
like Sean the Falcon,
Mhm.
like you're nuts. Oh my goodness. And also shout out to Zomba. He's been zombaring everyone, getting like top 8 three majors in a row, so that's super impressive.
And he's 16 and still in a junior year of high
Yeah,
school.
speaking of
Come on.
16, shout out to Spargo too. I actually got the chance to play Spargo as well. We'll get into that later, getting a little bit ahead of myself, but like just being able to take games off of these players, amazing feeling, especially with Snake, right? because like the Snake meta, it was up here at one point. Now it's like up and down. I just saw Sonic's call Snake a mid tier on Twitter yesterday, so I was like,
It's
okay.
also a matchup, to be fair. He's like the best at that matchup.
I
I
know he's like the man
yeah,
with infinite Snake experience. He's just godlike at it. It's not
yeah,
Snake
yeah,
being
yeah.
mid tier. It's Sonic's being godlike at the matchup. But aside from that, managed to get
That's
top
fun.
16 at Pound. Got 13th. I wanted to get top 8, but in my mind, I was like, I was able to prove to myself that SmashCon 2019 wasn't a fluke. It was
Yes.
like got 13th there, and then at 49th at Glitch. After that, shout outs to D3 Will and shout outs to Low One. Great players. Luigi owns everyone. The classic Wario main. But overall, yeah, just great playing with the players, and basically Pound was a lot of fun. Got a lot of grinding in, got a lot of games in, just kind of like was able to nail in concepts that I thought but wasn't 100% sure about, and able to add like new things to it along with getting like some perspective by talking to people about the game and strategies. Fast forward past Pound, low tide city, first time in Texas, pretty windy, like I said.
Actually, I'm gonna cut you off before you go to low tide.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
What were your thoughts on playing Wadi and DM? Because I noticed you had to fight them before you went to top 16. I found
Okay, so against Wadi, I was like, usually I try to camp Mewtwo, and that does not work. So I was gonna play at the mid range and try to be like as surprisingly aggressive as possible.
Mhm.
I want to parry the Shadow Ball. So then me and Wadi sit down, wait a bit, and then we start, and the game starts, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna parry the Shadow Ball whenever it happens. I get the Shadow Ball parry, I take the first stock in 6 seconds.
Wow.
Um, after that, like, playing Wani was a lot of fun. There were a lot of goofy moments alone in game one that were like, literally, it kind of looked like we were just messing around with each other, but it was a legit tournament game, so it was just hilarious to see, and like you could definitely see like Wadi's personality coming out during the game. So it was just overall a treat to play. And then after I managed to clutch out the Wadi set, shout out to Luma for the Rob XP. Appreciate you. Shout out to Tim for Mewtwo as well, and Peasy Peace, the recent Mewtwo players I've grinded with.
Nice, nice.
Um, I was able to take it over Mewtwo, take it over the Rob, and then I played DM. And I actually got to play Cosmos earlier in the tournament, lost 3-1. But I mean, I took the game, so I was like, we can work with that. And then afterwards, I went to play DM, and I think he took game one, or I took game one. He took game two, one of those two, and then I managed to clutch it at 3-1 because I kept the neutral together, and Nikita like saved me, and I was just like, I'm glad like the I was able to apply the stuff I learned from losing to Cosmos there. That was like the main thing for me because I actually think that like DM style was a pretty different than Cosmos, but like I was just using the solutions that caused losing to Cosmos had me theory crafting against DM, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So like yeah, I was able to put the theory crafting into practice, and that's kind of what I was happy about, right? Because like it's definitely one thing to create the counterplay, like we were saying earlier, but like to actually execute in practice is like a whole another level of comfortability and understanding. So it's like whenever I'm able to, not only brainstorm the counterplay but also apply it, love to see that. That's one of my favorite things whenever both of those come together and happen. Um, anyways, Pound fun tournament. Then I lost to Sean, and then overall I was like sad about 13th at first, but I'm like, wow, I can be sad about losing to for 13th at a major, like this is a cool feeling because pre-COVID my goal was top 64 at like one of these big majors, and now I'm getting sad about getting 13th, so I'm like, that helped make me a little less sad to put things in perspective. And then we're going to answer questions at the end, like top 5 snakes for example, like we'll kind of do those at the end to close out the show, and then we're going to be reacting to the Gimmer tech as well as a little, precursor in the future. But
Yes.
anyways, on to low tide, right?
Yes.
So
Talk about low tide.
do you want to go first?
Cool. I'm gonna talk about everything but bracket.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
and, then,
Sounds
and, then
good.
we'll, and then we'll transition to bracket stuff.
Okay.
So first off, really fun because so this was like the week. So this was my midterms prep week. So I had played Smash for maybe less than 3 hours before the tournament. So I was like so excited to just be away from my dorm and away from my university and into like a Smash major. So already I'm going with like a sign of relief.
Let's go.
I got to room with 3 other Chicago Smashers, and one of the Chicago Smash players actually used to live in Texas, so we had to stay at his home. Shout out to Thomas446, very great
Okay,
Fire Emblem player.
let's go.
Um, Overall, I think Texas at the water park was a really great location. It felt like a half cruise, half like environmental, like really savvy like location. I liked it a lot. Um, Got to love the. I think the venue size was small, but that's also coming from like Genesis, where it's like 20 times as large as any major ever. Um, but Low Tide was really fun because I think I got to see a lot of people that I had not seen at Genesis, or if I did see them, I didn't really connect with them until Low Tide, if that makes sense. The first example of mine is obviously like Chase, Southern California Palutena. We briefly met at Genesis. We actually got to talk and play a lot more at Low Tide. So it was really fun to fight another style of Palutena. And obviously seeing you again was great. Got to
Of course. Yeah,
hang out finally. It has been like only a month since Gale Force, but
month,
it's
but it
always
feels like forever, right?
feels like forever,
Yeah, yeah.
always. Um, then it'll be another month to Warp Zone, but shouts to that.
Yep.
You're going to Warp Zone, right?
I think I am. I was gonna go
Okay.
CEO, but with the ways that Warp Zone is shaping up, it's literally just looking like a Midwest major on the same like day. So it's gonna be like I saw actually Skittles is going. I saw that we're going, as well as Dark Wizzy, as well as Ned, as well as probably a Tata too, because school's gonna be out. So it's gonna be like literally CO. You know, I will check it out eventually, but probably not this year because like there's just a Midwest major happening that's closer to me, and I won't have to fly, and I won't have to get in a hotel because I can stay with the homies. So you'll definitely see me at Warp Zone.
Okay,
But
sweet.
yeah,
But yeah, I'll be there too. Just yeah.
yeah. Let's
Anyway,
go. Let's go.
yeah. Honestly, Low Tide really solid event for me personally to get used to all of the exposure from Genesis. I think that was like the big
Yeah.
thing for me. I feel like it was kind of a new environment to be like asked. So I'm a huge pictures guy. I take pictures of everybody. I
Vouch,
think this was
vouch.
yeah, vouch. Yeah, this was one of the first tournaments I think where I took so few pictures because I was taking pictures for other people instead of on my own, which was like a weird, surreal feeling because I'm usually the one taking the pictures. So I'm usually walking up and asking pictures. And then having people come up to me and ask me for pictures was like kind of a unique feeling. It kind of has to go with like that Cinderella story of like, Icon did so well at Genesis. He wants to see how is he going to be at Low Tide, right? So can you continue that arc? It was really good to get used to that environment for sure, and like getting used to like playing more people and hanging out with different players, and obviously all the attention was really great. Um, but I think that doesn't excuse like placements or grinding or anything like that. So I definitely have some stuff to work on. But I'm gonna hand it off to you because I know you had a wonderful run. I want you to talk about it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
going to Low Tide, I've been to Riptide. That was the only other Kalahari event I've actually been to. I've never been to a Smash and Splash either. So, going into it, wow, that venue is pretty nutty. I didn't even look at the water park this time because I was like just too busy focusing on playing and the event and stuff. So next Kalahari event I go to, I'll definitely be getting in the water park. But for this event, we did another Smash grind only, and day one was playing well. Only dropped one game, but when I did drop that one game, that set looked very close. Shout out to Z3, you are nutty. Game three, last dog last hit, I spot dodge grabbed and up tilted. You know the classic Snake fashion. How other way would Snake do it other than spot dodge up tilt? Um,
Yes.
anyways, that was like for the run part. I got a lot of money matches in. I only got like 6 or 7 in total because like after day one I was just focused on tournament because like I'll money match before tournament, but if I'm playing like my tournament, then the money match I just my mental strength won't be there because in the back of my mind I'll always be like focusing on the tournament itself. That's what I learned at SOS. Um, in general though, so after day one, no money matches. I go into day two. Um, I play pretty well after the Z3 set. Everything started on day two, right? So pulls it well. Dropped the game to Z3, really close set. Managed to clutch it out, thank goodness. And then I actually end up getting to face Shu. And in the commentary, in the commentary of the game, it says that I said that I am the best Snake player in the world against 06 Samus, which I do believe. That is a claim I like to make because I've seen all the other snakes talk about that matchup, and the way the other snakes talk about it, they're like, oh, it's losing. It's like it doesn't feel worse than even. Like there's no way. But like personally, it's like one of the three matchups like that I really enjoy. So I was like thankful I got to play someone who's not only a really good zero suit, which is Shu, like she is a really good zero suit, like just against Snake, and just playing Kronos' training partner. I love playing like other players who are super trained against Snake. Like for example,
Yeah.
shout out to Makibaz back in the day. Makibaz played with Pip a lot, and I was able to play Makibaz at Kumites. I'm not sure how to say that, but I was able to play um, Makibaz there, and I was able to pull it out. So it's like literally being able to play people who are really good against Snake, right? Because Snake is one of those characters that like people think that if you don't know the matchup, like that's why you get the dub. So it's like being able to play people like Esam, being able to play people like Shu, just people like that, just awesome feeling to play people who are very good at the matchup, because then it's like very good neutral, and then those are the wins that are the hardest to do, especially because like I feel like it's probably the same for Ryu, but when people know the matchup and people don't know the matchup, you have to play completely different styles, because people who like things that will work on people who know the matchup will sometimes not work against people who don't know it.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
uh,
So wild.
for example, like Glitch, I played against iModders a lot, and iModders was bodying me in neutral, but kept getting hit by C4, so I just started spamming C4, and it worked. Like, I actually just mashed C4 that set, and it won, and I was like, okay, like,
All right, let's move. Let's move.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. We move. Anyways, going on the next day, set with Shu goes well. She took me to last stock like every game, so it was like close set, but I managed to clutch it out. Going into the next day, I play Baze Spargo. Um, that is the fastest Cloud I've ever played against. Like,
Yes.
the tempo and the speed is just like he's really good, really good at switching up like the tempo of like just knowing how to cross up your shield ambiguously. Like it felt really hard to parry him because of the way he would cross up shields. Like he would cross up shields in a certain way, back air, and then he would like reverse momentum forward air to try to mix up your parry timings. And then like he was good at knowing when to grab and when to like dash attack, like roll away, dash attack, dash backs. Um, Ended up taking the game off Spargo. That was awesome, but I couldn't clutch it out. He just played it really well. He kept center and just like played his advantage really nicely. But I was still happy with that performance. And then after Spargo, I played Cosma.
Yep.
The Luma experience coming in clutch again because I 3-0 Cosma.
Nice.
Really,
Nice.
really, really nice person. Like really great to talk to.
Mhm.
Great meeting them. But I felt really comfortable about that. And I played my homie Atada. We were warming up earlier on, like before I played Shu
Mhm.
the previous day. So I got to play Atada the next day, and I ended up like clutching that 3-0, which was like super relieving for me because I think that makes the set count even. But before that, Atada was like positive on me. Like Atada was farming me. But at Smash of the Titan 7, I managed to like figure something out, and I was able to like implement that at low tide as well. Really happy about that because Snake and S is a matchup that has like plagued me in the past, so it was like something that I really wanted to overcome, like that matchup in particular. And then after Atada, I played my boy, the Fortnite goat, Johnny. Yeah,
Johnny.
Johnny's literally the goat. Shout out to him. Like that's the homie. Super proud of him for making it like that far. I wish we both could have got like top 8, but in general, like just being able to secure the top 8 spot, and like my last major pre-COVID was Frostbite 2020, and I got 97th. And
Yeah.
now to look at it today and see myself tied with Meister is like something nutty because we both got 7th at low tide. And I was just like, wow, like just like seeing that just put a smile on my face and made me so happy because like that's just like I've really been wanting this. I've been working for it for like this time. So it's like seeing the work pay off. It's just like a feeling of happiness like no other. So I've been like a little giddy about it. Like shout out to Giddy as well. He lended me his headset for a few sets during like top 24. So
Nice. Nice.
super homie. As well as like overall top 8, like that's a goal. So now if I'm ever doubting myself in the future, I can look back on my low tide run and pick myself back up. So it's like I feel like a lot of the time the hardest part about stuff like that is like breaking through, right? Like breaking
Yes.
through that barrier. So once you get through that barrier, you're like, I can do this. I've done this before, and now there's no room to doubt yourself anymore, like ever, because you're like, if I'm confident in myself, I can do it again. I've done it before. So like having that in like the back pocket now, oh dude, like that is so much pressure off my chest. Like it is such a nice feeling. Like our coffee hug, I can give you the most homie hug
Oh.
after, and I had like, dude, I wouldn't have it any other way. That was awesome.
No, I was so happy for you when
Oh
I came back. I walked back into the venue as we were playing for top eight, and Gwendon was sitting next to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, AK's got this free." And
yeah, yeah. I
Gwendon
was
is a
like,
Christian boy, so he's rooting for Johnny, and I'm rooting for AK the whole time. And then it happened, and then coffee was spilled.
I was
So
like, yes, like yes. I popped off. I was like, please, I've been wanting this for so long, and I just got 13th to pound too, so top 16 to the top eight, and like you're getting ninth as well. So I have a feeling like at these next few majors, you're gonna make a splash. Like you definitely my top eight. Just depends on like bracket stuff, but honestly, I have confidence in you to like you got this, like for
no,
sure. So
thank you so much. No,
it's
yeah,
gonna
I think
it's
something
gonna be awesome.
crazy is yeah. First off, it's amazing because that's like a hallmark like goal, right? It's like of all like the classic goals I feel like Smashers always have. It's like PR in your region, like maybe going to your first major, and then like top 64 in your first major. I
And
feel like
then
are like
top eight, like
top eight,
after
right?
that, it's like,
I feel like those are
dude,
like the goals, right?
yeah, just
So
like
getting that is so awesome.
that feeling is like no other. It's just like I want to say like shout out to just like literally believing in yourself. Like
Mhm.
if you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you as well? So it's just like you got to have confidence in yourself and you got to like be patient because sometimes you're going to learn so much that it might not help you. But eventually if you keep going and you keep trying, you're going to figure it out like with enough passion, enough determination. Like if you just keep it persisting, keep it going, keep studying, like you got it. And it's just like now it's I have like first person like real life evidence of it. So it's just like very great feeling to have. Get to meet a lot of cool people too, and it's just like the fact that people are like asking. I got asked to sign something. I got asked for a picture. So it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
what the heck.
That
But
stuff is so weird, man. I
yeah,
feel like
it's
I
like
had
foreign to me now, right? Like I it's
whoa
just like
weird
whoa. Like every
when you come.
time. All right, you go. Sorry.
Dude, I was about to say when you come from like a humble Midwest state, right, and you're just like, playing your game in your small sub region, just kind of enjoying hanging out, right? Like I like we don't say we're from like Illinois, Missouri. We say we're from Chicago and St. Louis, right? These are
Yeah.
small. Well, I don't want to say small cities, but like they're cities compared to like these
Yeah.
huge regions like SoCal and Tri-State, right? And you eventually see yourself like breaking through on the major scale. Like that stuff is honestly incredible, and it's really good feeling to see it because you know that anybody from any background can really do it.
Yeah. It's like dude, like all this different storylines, all the different like personalities, like all coming together. Like majors truly are like a magic time. I'm gotta be honest. Like it's just getting to meet cool people. Like ah, there's not really many feelings like it. I feel like over time you just get to like have so many experiences. Like I actually I went to eat with some people, some homies from the major. Like you were bringing up Chase earlier. Like that shout out to Chase as well. I finally got to meet Chase in person for the first time. I remember we VOD reviewed like the snake matchup a year ago, and now he's like really good at it. So it's like really cool to see people like that. You know, talk to him online and then you see him in person. It's just like, wow, like totally like different experience. Just overall, just made me want to go back to more. Honestly, like more majors, more people, more like experiences. Like it's just so much fun.
Exactly. All week I've been saying I can't wait for summer because I feel like I'm just so ready to like charged and ready to just go back at it again and just see what happens, right?
Yeah.
A couple side things I want to mention before I forget it. I'm an idiot. We didn't talk about doubles at all.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we played doubles at low tide. For a fun experience, honestly, like
Fun.
uh
Very fun.
we went through some game threes off the bat and I believe we got 17. Like all right, it wasn't our prettiest doubles event, but we had some fun. I had some
We
fun
had a
like
lot of
that
fun.
like listen, I don't gotta win doubles. I just want to play it out. And we got like three or four doubles sets in there, so I was having fun. We had
Really big doubles is the funniest thing of all
goofy
time.
interaction. Like, Icon got grabbed and I forward smashed on the platform and extended, and the forward smash hit him, and I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, just
We both said what at
I
the
was like,
screen at the same time. It was so funny.
there was just different interactions like that, but we still got top 24 in doubles, so we take those.
Yeah, it's not bad. We didn't warm
Overall,
up. We just hopped in and played.
yeah, we just hopped in, and then I think we ran into Grace and Zillion, I believe,
Jason's hilarious.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they ended up slaying us. We couldn't get it on them. I was trying to camp, they blow my stuff up, and then they have double projectiles out for Icon. They have like a good like good stuff to them. They got us good. But overall, would definitely do it again. So if you want a team at majors in the future, for sure, like hit me up.
Yes, please. Oh my god, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just a lot of fun because it was like I think I always like playing doubles Ryu because it's like a different style of Ryu.
yeah,
Like instead
yeah.
of like playing footsies and then you're always facing the opponents, you can like whiff punish everything with like backdashes. In doubles, you're kind of just like swinging forward air, back air. You're kind of just like throwing a lot of these meaty aerials out that do like 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
And if they hit, you like you don't go for a combo, you go for the other opponent, right? So there's a lot of like different niche little things, and everyone says Ryu sucks in doubles. He's probably not the best doubles character for sure, but he's I'll be the first to say that.
Oh my goodness! Shout
But
out to
he's
Win. Oh,
but he's so funny. Like he's just like throwing like a fireball from half screen, and then because like Shaku explodes on multiple opponents was like I don't know. It was a special type of euphoria.
I
That's for sure.
remember something that you told me that was really funny. Was like, I'm really not used to getting auto turnaround back in the middle of a game, and I
Yeah,
was like, that was something I didn't even think about. But yeah, and like the 1v1s, like auto turnaround just becomes a factor again, and then you could play normal Ryu, and you've been having to play doubles Ryu for the whole game, so it's kind of like weird to flip that switch, right?
it's so weird, but it
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. I think you definitely had a lot of fun with just like throwing nades, not for like space control, but for like denying the
Yeah.
opponents to, like be somewhere. Well, it is space control, yeah.
Space
It's
control,
like
and I'll throw like homie nades where it's like if I can't get there to save you because Snake's a little slow, I'm like, all right, blow up this opponent's combo, just like that, stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. Playing off like I wish you threw more nades at me, honestly, because I feel like having that and then I could just like focus and then the explosion
Oh,
would just circle around me. I don't know. There's
all
like
right,
some
all
random.
right. We're labbing doubles in the
We're
podcast.
having
You
those.
love to see it. You love to see
If
it.
if we make top eight at a doubles major, that's not like a goal I have, but now
You
it's low
you
becoming
want
a
to
goal I
do
want.
it? Okay. I mean,
Double down,
I'm totally down. Like, yeah,
double down.
yeah, we can be like doubles partners at majors and just try to like top eight. I'm totally down for that.
I'm so down.
I think we can do it.
I think we could do it too. I think it's not impossible. It was a
No.
lot of fun. Speaking of Zillion, I do want to give shout outs to him. We played a very, very fun game three set in singles bracket. Um, he's very good. And I want to like give huge shout outs to him. Probably the best Robin bot.
Oh,
We had to play
okay.
him out of pools and he got the upset on me. So I was like kind of shocked at how good like his Robin was. I found out after that he had static training partners with N, who's like a Shoto player that now retired, but he's been playing against Ryu and Ken for the past like 5 to 6 years. And I've been playing against Robin for like 3 sets in Chicago. So the experience kind of showed,
That's
but he
tough.
was a
That's
very
tough. But yeah, I remember I used to have a Robin bracket demon, so I definitely like I feel the Robin pain for sure. Um,
exactly knowing
Keydream.
when to roll in that
Yeah,
matchup is very, very important.
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like there's a
yeah.
lot of times you want to like roll instead of jump, but I digress. He played really well. Also, I want to give shout outs to the three Kazuya players I played in bracket. I played three Kazuyas, and I went
Wow.
like 4-2, 5-2 or something in the total bracket. So half my matches were just Kazuyas.
Okay.
It was very mentally draining, I want to say. That character, I would out neutral him, and then I'd be so nervous. He's at 120 glowing red. I'm at 10, blue as always in blue Ryu, and I'm just like I could just die right now. But I'm very comfortable in that matchup now. That's actually a lot more fun, even though it's very mentally stressful in bracket.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
especially in bracket against Cuz. I feel like you get hit once and your stock will be gone. Steve
yeah,
typically
the
does
worst
it.
thing is when you switch your DI and it just doesn't matter.
It's just too late. It's too late.
It's too late. Oh man, no, it's very funny. But yeah, I'm trying to think about anything else for my singles run I want to touch on. I got 49th for those of you who don't know. Definitely like getting used to the exposure of like Genesis like may have impacted my play a little bit more than I wanted it to, but it was good practice and I'm still happy about making top 64, but it was more so an eye-opening experience to like what majors and how volatile they can be. Like playing Goblin for 49th, it was kind of insane like cuz we both got upset really early. So fighting a really like fighting like the top 10 seed, right? For
Yeah.
like something like that is kind of crazy. But it goes to show that at Genesis it was no different. There were players playing for like 25th, 33rd, right? It's just kind of how volatile Ultimate is, right?
Yeah.
So I was very happy with those sets and I learned a lot about my play. So very excited to finish school, then get back on the grind. So
For sure, for sure. Like I think something that's not talked about as much is like around this time, it's like for the next like week or two, not so much, right? Because it's like finals week. But after that, it's like the locals start becoming bigger because no, like, no school, and people just come to, um, overall, just like in general, more tournaments. So there's more entrants, just more big stack tourneys. Get to see more people. It's overall just like a very fun time for Smash in the year, I feel. Because I've been competing for 3 years, and I kind of see like the time of year depend on like how many entrants there are at tournaments. So I think it's gonna be like, as long as nothing goes wrong, should be more people at tournaments, and overall more people, more brackets, more just hype matches. So basically, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks and the transition into the time of year, because it's going to be really fun for Smash, and I think it'll be evident, especially with like how majors are going to go down too, because like majors are gonna be looking real spicy. Because let me tell you, Spargo looking real hard to beat right now. So we'll have to see how
Real.
that evolves with Leo and stuff like that, and we'll have to see like, I think I think like Tweak said, just wait. I'm waiting. I'm ready. I'm
I'm
ready for Tweak to
waiting.
do it. I'm ready. Like I have full faith, no
How
doubt
much
in
of,
my mind.
can you imagine how much of a storyline it would be for Tweak to come out of like not the gutter, but out of like a low dip, right?
Just
That
like,
he
yeah,
had,
a lower point than we're used to, because we're used to top two, top three. You know what I mean?
and then come back and then just destroy
Like just
Sparkle and like,
number one. Oh, that time that would be
can you
sick.
imagine?
I
Like,
don't think it's out of the possibility though. Like
absolutely not.
I really don't think like that's too far away, because like we saw a collision, right? Collision, Tweak got second, defeating Leo. So if Tweak like studies up on Spargo and Leo as well, like we'll see. Like it definitely wouldn't surprise me if he came out like with swinging for sure. Like um personally, Tweak is like my favorite player to watch,
Mhm.
and just like to see how he views and plays the game in general. So like I'm waiting for those Tweak VODs. I'd be looking at them just to see. Yeah, shout out to Tweak Snake recently. Tweak
Tweak
like
Snake? Oh,
Tweak went Snake in a tournament. I was like, yes, let's go. Got to
did you
study
actually?
those. Yeah, I watched a few Tweak Snake sets. I took some little things, took some concepts,
Okay,
applied it into my own Snake. So you always love to see that.
man, that's hype, man. I gotta
Yeah,
watch the
yeah.
Big Boss for you now.
Oh, Big Boss, are you against the Leo Kazuya? That's
Oh
awesome.
god, that stuff is always great. It's fun to see top players play your character.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Because we just play such a different way. But like
Mm-hmm.
Leo's used to spacing with disjoints. What kind of disjoints do you have? Forward tilt?
Oh, be like
Oh.
forward till air check,
Air
dash check.
check.
But oh, what I want to ask you is, what can people expect to see you at next?
Yes. So I'm actually going to my Twitch page because that's where I have all my events posted with exclamation point events. So give me like
Okay,
5 seconds.
go follow
Uh,
Icon's Twitch, Icon MSM or MS1, Icon
yes. Thank
MS1
you.
for
Thank
sure.
you. Okay. So my next events are Warp Zone, which is the Chicago Regional. I'm choosing
June
that over.
25th.
That's yeah.
That
I'm
over
choosing
CEO, right?
over CEO.
Yeah.
I don't want to travel in the first week of summer when like intern stuff is getting off the bat. I want to just like still be in Chicago. So spending a day on Saturday would be really really fun. Double Down Vegas Major, July I think 8th through 11th.
Me as well. Me as well.
Yes, I'll be there. I have plans for SmashCon. I haven't regged yet, but I will be at SmashCon.
Let me know for
Uh,
doubles. Let me know. Let me
yes,
know.
Virginia, the Virginia Super Major, so that'll be
Mm-hmm.
good. And then Riptide, which is the Ohio Major, that'll be closing out my summer. And then I have Port Priority planned for Washington because I want to go visit a high school friend over there.
Ooh.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events, one regional, four majors. Um, there's talks about Let's Make Moves in Halloween. I'm not sure if I'm doing anything that weekend. If I'm just being a uni student, I'll do that. But if I want to go to a major, I'll do that. And then I have no plans for SWT right now, and no plans for. There's one more event happening in California probably around that time, like the
Oh,
main
Wave Dash.
Wave Dash. That's what it's called. I have no plans for that because it's in SoCal, but we'll see what I can do. But yeah, a couple events coming up.
Okay. As far as my events go, I'm gonna be chilling in St. Louis for this week. First time in like a few weeks. But back-to-back majors are something. First time I've ever done that. A lot of fun, but only do it if you're like super passionate. In general though, I think that I'm gonna be at Back in Blood next week, which is gonna be like the Washington tournament with some great players going as well. I couldn't name them right now, but it's gonna be a fun tournament to watch. I think that'll be like between 200 and 400 entrants. Um, but after that, I'm gonna go to MomoCon, So I'll
Oh,
be
I missed
there.
Combo Breaker. I'm an idiot. I missed Combo
Oh
Breaker.
yeah,
I'm
okay,
so
okay. You can see I get a
sorry.
combo breaker. Yeah, I hope so. That's in your backyard.
Yes,
Um,
yes. I'm sorry. Let me add it. Sorry. Continue, continue.
but as well as I gonna be at SmashCon Riptide. Hopefully, Double Down. Like I said, I plan to go to maybe Shine. I've never been there before, and also later on in the year, I'm thinking about Let's Make Moves Miami as well
Cool.
because I missed the New York Let's Make Moves, unfortunately, because cases rose during that time. But like, this time I'm thinking I don't want to miss it. It should be fun to hang out there. Um, but in general, like that's what I'm thinking for events. See me at Warp Zone 2. Um, and aside from that, like feel like it's just gonna be refining my play, fixing the little stuff like mod reviewing, and just at the top like level against the best of the best. More so learning the player matchups, right? Because like it gets to a point where if when you get to a certain point in the neutral and like in Smash, you both know everything. It just comes down to like the split second decisions, the spot dodges, the grabs, the rolls, the jumps, just like timing mix ups and how you do them, just all that good stuff. So like, I'll just be working on little, like refining my play a little bit. Got the major top eight out of the way. Let me tell you, that's like a 50-pound weight off my shoulder because like I wanted that really badly. Like I really wanted that, so I'm super happy I could pull it off.
Exactly. I'm so proud that you were able to do
Thank you,
it. Like I
homie.
think the events been going on in the past month. Like,
Yeah.
obviously just so happy you managed. I mean, I think we mentioned it before, but you didn't even want to go to low tide, right?
Yeah, I went to low tide on a whim. Shout out to Healy for sure. Great,
Yeah.
great homie, great controller modder. Um, Fixes controllers and such. He actually offered to take me, so did a 17-hour car ride there and a 17-hour car ride back. So shout out to Healy for being a trooper, getting us through that, and also just like giving me the opportunity to top eight. I was indifferent about going to low tide, and I went there, and then I was literally the only person in top eight who wasn't supposed to be there. I was seed 16, and everyone else in top eight was a top eight seed except for me. I was the
Wow.
one outlier. So just like being able to be there and do it with Snake, right? Like even today, like just people don't even know where to place him. Some people think he's a top tier. Some people think he's like high tier, mid tier. So it's like, in general, I think he's top tier. I think he's top 10. That's why I play him. I think he's broken, and I think he has like tools for almost every scenario like people try to put him in. But just like being able to do that with solo Snake, it's awesome because now I had a few people like literally come up to me and say that they think I'm the best Snake, like which is just
Isn't that cool?
insane to hear. Like I said it over and over and over that I'm going to become the best Snake in the world. So it's just like hearing people like tell me that in person is just like puts a smile on my face, and it's like a feeling that it's hard to put into words because that's been my goal. That's been the motivation behind this, like the hours and hours of work that I put in. So it's just like super cool to see and like makes me like smile super super hard. So like
It's cool being able to represent your character at the highest level.
yes
I love
yes like it's
that.
awesome.
So yeah, no, I'm very proud of you. I'm so happy just because I know how passionate you are about not only the character
Dude,
but the game. So seeing
it's
something like that happen, it makes me happy. And we
yeah.
got to spill coffee for it. So that's how you know.
Yeah, I feel like we're both at that passionate level. So it's like we may get kicked down sometimes. We may have slumps, but we'll always like come out of them, bounce back. Like one slump isn't enough to get us down and get us out for the count. It's gonna take a lot more than that, right?
Maybe like 20, and then I'll maybe consider. But no,
Uh,
not even, man. I love this game too much to let
yeah,
a small problem stop me. So if people wanted to quit after one slump, they wouldn't be where we are now, which makes me feel really good and pushing forward. So
all right.
yeah, we have
Just
around half an hour until Gimmer Tech. Um, trying to think of any last minute thoughts before we
yeah.
answer questions.
So yeah, if we actually covered like the tournaments in an hour, so we made some pretty good time with it. Um, and in general, like I'm trying to think of stuff to finish up as well. Like for everyone in chat, we answer questions at the end, just answer them all together. So if you have anything you want to ask both of us, like feel free to. I'm gonna try to figure out how to set up the stream correctly for the Gimmer tech reveal. So Gimmer's reviewing like a tech. He was advertising it on like Twitter. So gonna see like what that's all about, and please be applicable to Snake, please. It's talking about air drift, and Snake, he has like 2 aerials that can do that. So I'm like I'm pessimistic going into it, like, because I'm like, I just don't see how aerial tech helps Snake out, you know. So, but I hope I get proven wrong. I hope I get proven wrong. Like,
Okay, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm the same way. I
uh,
feel like it's not gonna be applicable to me that much.
like,
But I will say,
please.
one, we're this successful without the tech, so we don't
True,
need it.
true, true,
Two, one,
true.
two. Okay, it's Gimmer. I low key think it's a troll. Low key. Okay, I think because
Yo,
dude, of all the
thank
people
you,
in the community,
Kimber.
I think of two people that would troll, and Gimmer is one of them. The other is like Void. I feel like Void kind of trolling the community,
Oh
but
my goodness.
for content creator, bro, it has to be.
Yeah,
Gimmer's a
yeah. Oh my
Gimmer is a
goodness.
troll.
Gimmer's like, oh, we're just gonna, there's gonna be like an event, or it's gonna be like May the 4th be with you, or something like that.
Literally, that's what I'm. Oh my god. But anyway, we'll see how the gamer tech is in around half an hour.
Yeah.
One last thought I have before we can answer questions is, I was informed PGR season ends in a month.
Yeah, I actually think MoboCon is the last major before the end of the PGR season. So
Yeah, Momocon combo breaker. Yeah,
that actually is like, it could be a
weird.
chance that I'm on the PGR now.
I think you are personally.
Cause like, you know, you have Lull Up Arena, which is like probably a C or a B tier,
Yeah,
and then I got fourth there. SOS was probably a C tier as well, and I got third there, and then I got 13th at Pound and 7th at Low Tide, right? So it's
exactly.
like, I think that's a good resume, and like if I'm on the PGR, like,
Yeah,
dude, what a sick season. Like that'll just like, I couldn't ask for things to turn out better. So it's like,
exactly.
feeling very good right now about just Snake in general and overall the stuff, like just everything, just getting to do this, getting to meet people, getting to take pictures, like it's overall, it's just all been having a great time recently.
It's very good. Yeah. Why I bring it up is because it's a 3-month PGR season, which I've never seen before. Which is making me wonder how much weight goes into certain events. Genesis. So I'm a little. I feel weird because I
Yeah.
feel like Genesis is so inflated, and because I had like a Cinderella run there, I'm wondering how that's gonna factor into everything.
All I'm
Um,
gonna say is it definitely isn't gonna hurt you. It definitely
yeah,
won't hurt you, bro.
yeah, no. And another thought is that because it's a 3-month season, and because a lot of people did so well, it makes the summer season like, I don't want to say have new targets to catch, but like you're gonna have a lot of new faces that have not been on that
Yeah.
national scene before, which makes the national scene even more exciting in the peak of summer when everybody is competing. So everybody's gonna be fishing for wins. Everybody's gonna want to be on that stage, right? That's what I'm thinking about. So I think the summer is gonna have a lot of new names to take down. That's for sure.
Yeah, so like Lua 4 being a B tier. Here, Raven King sent me something.
Starting a B tier. Oh,
Okay, so one second.
I. What is
Okay.
this?
So it's basically like the middle of June, like the beginning of June, like June 13th, I think, was what Practical TAS said for when the PGR season ends. But yeah, Lua 4 being a B tier, like, already being on the PGR and starting to like, I haven't even been traveling to majors for 3 years yet. My first major was August 2019. So it's like within a few months it'll be 3 years, but like being able to get PGR within 2.5 years of major travel, like, thank you for being broken, Snake.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go. Thank you, Snake. You're broken. Like, Snake is awesome. But anyways,
What
like,
if you didn't pilot the character?
that,
It
yeah,
wouldn't.
so I feel like it's like half and half. It's like half me, half Snake, like just combining our efforts together. So it's like just puts a smile on my face. I don't really know how else to react. It's just like awesome. So,
You talk about Snake like he's
Follow
an old high
me.
school friend of yours.
oh, dude, he is. We go way back. That's why I still play him to this day. Yeah.
That's amazing. No, yeah. It's gonna be very exciting to see a new season of like rankings come out and just kind of see how it all works out. I'm very excited to just see. Um, it's gonna lead into a solid summer, like I said before. I think it's gonna be a lot of good names, a lot of cool, a lot of big events. It's gonna be cool to just see how many names get that big recognition. So,
Yeah, for sure.
regardless of how it is, though, something I learned from low tide is it's not going to affect anything about how people practice, play, etc.
Yes. Yes.
The exposure is cool, but it's not what keeps you playing.
Yeah, the exposure is cool, but you got to remember how you got to the exposure, right? Like, there's no
Yeah,
reason for that to change. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
exactly. Yeah. With that out of the way,
Yeah, I think
that's all I've got.
this is like all we really like need to talk about. And I think if anyone has questions right now, this would be your time to get them off. I know people have been talking to chat. Like, um, shout out to Raven King, shout out to Cam, shout out to Dead Snake, shout out to Elegy, and shout out to Allo. If anyone has like questions right now, how was Z3? Z3 was really nice, really cool person to meet. She almost beat my ass, so overall, she's really good. Don't sleep on her. I actually got the chance to talk to her a little more afterwards, like later in the night. She asked me for a money match, but I had to sleep for Sunday. Talking about like young Link and just a game plan overall, so I'll definitely like take what she said in mind. But overall, just like cool person. Hey, shout out to Disciple. We're big Tweak Talk fans here. Like I remember,
Oh,
dude, the Tweak Talk mention. Oh, let's go! Like that was so hype. Oh
that was
my goodness.
okay. I forgot that happened, low
Yeah,
key.
yeah, yeah. Bringing that one up.
Yeah, I just told Hazmat if you wanted to, please do. And I was surprised he remembered long enough to actually do it.
That was so
Hazmat,
cool.
you're my goat. Shout outs to you. Love
Shout
you,
out to
man.
Hazmat, shout out to Tweak, shout out to Charles, shout out to Pink Fresh as well. Like all those people, super shout outs. Like Pink's always cool whenever we meet at events as well. How do you feel about playing against top ZSS players as of now? I'm never uncomfortable. Um,
That's the best thing you can say.
yeah, I'm never uncomfortable against Zero Suit. And anytime a Zero Suit like beats me, like Doorstep beat me at SOS recently, they earned it because there is nothing that they can do to me that I'm not like that I'm surprised about. The closest thing is like Shu doing raw flip kick. Like like she got me with that. That was it. And I was like, okay, but like that's just a certain move used in a smart way. I've been following you before, but I thought that was very hard to disciple. Shout out to you as well.
Tell Hazmat happy birthday. Happy birthday
Happy
indeed.
birthday, Hazmat. Happy
Love you, Hazmat. Happy
birthday.
birthday, dude.
Um,
You got the next one?
okay, so hearing both of you be so positive regardless of results is amazing. We need more players like you both in the scene for sure. Yo, shout out to Raichu. That's my homie.
Thank you so much.
It's actually Raichu's birthday over I believe, was it this weekend? Was it low tide or pound Raichu? Because I remember I had the 4 Reister tag. Pretty sure it was low tide. Just trying not to mix it up, but shout out to Reister's birthday. You love to see it. Yeah, last Thursday. Love to see it. Love to see it. So shout out to you. Shout outs to Wolf Pro as well. Wolf Pro recently with the Tony's U tank win. Like he's on the rise. Wolf Pro, Colorado, Luma, Doman. Like, dude, gonna be a great time. We are gonna be watching the Gimmer Tech.
Yes, and thank you, Disciple. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Man.
yo, let's go. You're one of my favorite players too. Like honestly,
Oh,
for
how
sure,
could
for
you not
sure.
be mine, bro?
Dude,
I watched
let's
you do
go.
nasty stuff. Listen, all I'm gonna say is when I saw you do tomahawk turnaround up tilt on somebody's shield, I was like, wait, I do that too with tomahawk jab Shoryuken. I was like, what?
I had to steal. I had to steal it.
Steal,
But
steal. Oh man, I'm gonna steal Nikita edge guards and Shaku edge guards, bro.
oh,
Listen, I've been Shaku edge guarding some people in bracket. It's the weirdest thing of all time because like I'll run off, I'll throw the fireball, right? But because Ryu does the little hop in the air, right? If they air dodge it, I'm like high enough so I can like nair them off stage again. And then I cancel off the nair to like sure you can back up. I'm like, this is so broken. I've never been doing this before. But I like it's okay. It's crazy.
let's go. Let's go. I'm glad I give you an idea. Yeah, yeah. No, like that seems like thinking about it. I was like, you had a little question mark pop up in my head, and I was like, oh, what the? So like when you said it was weird, that's why I laughed. I was like, yep, that's totally what I was thinking about it as well. But if it works, man. Like you got to get creative. Like there's a reason why like you're taking Ryu the furthest, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. Like, but anyways, like,
I didn't top 8 with Snake for the first time in a while.
hey, we take those. Dude, just like
When was
Snake.
the last time? When was the last time Snake got a top 8?
Was it SmashCon Fall Fest or C? Which was later, SmashCon C or Fall Fest or CEO?
Fall Fest.
Was Fall Fest later? Okay, so then. Okay, then Fall Fest. So it's been like a couple months. So seeing Snake back up in there for sure. I definitely think he belongs there. And I was so close to Pound. So like just being able to get close and then get it. Let's go. Looking forward to MomoCon. And then Kodiak, to go back to what you said. So that's hype. I'm assuming she's your best player matchup. No, she's just my best character matchup. Like I know everything about Zero Suit.
Oh,
CEO was
CEO
December.
was
Yeah, it was
December.
CEO then. CEO, CEO.
Okay, CEO, CEO.
Okay, you gotta ask. Top five snakes.
Follow me.
No order. MBD, Dio, myself. Um,
What about
it's so hard. No, it's so hard here because
Grape from
there's
Campus?
Grape, there's Alandis, there's Kronos, there's Omar, there's AC. There's so many good snake players. I don't know how to order it here. There's Shogun. Like, there's so many good snake players, dude. Okay, I like
Thank you, Sarubi. I appreciate that
I'd
so much. By
I'd
the
say
way.
like I so Shogun obviously is godlike, but I think because he hasn't been competing too much, I'm gonna have to put Alandis and AC over him for now. I think like Shogun and Kronos, Omar, like all of them, they're really really good, but like I just need to see them at more stuff. Cause like Alandis 3-0 Gluto,
Yeah.
Gluto does not lose to Snake.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
His playstyle is so good against Snake too.
He doesn't. So Alandis 3-0 and Gluto, like shoutouts to Alandis super hard. AC with the tweak win, like Snakes is kind of like thriving right now. Like so, um, super hard to say, but I definitely say like right now for me it's like Alandis and AC because like Kagaribi, Shogun and Dio are gonna play this weekend. Hopefully Shogun proves me wrong. You know what I mean? Like I hope Shogun shows up and like shuts me up because Shogun's the homie. Six Snake, definitely one of the snakes I studied to get where I am, but I just need to see more from him right now. Alandis also had a close set for Leo. Alandis is godlike. Like
Yes.
Alandis is like don't sleep at all. And actually, you know what? Who are your top five Ryus, Icon?
Ryu's or Ken's or both?
Um, well, would you rather like if you ask someone would you want Ryu alone or would you want Ryu and Ken?
I'm gonna put players who can play Ryu. Doesn't mean they.
Oh,
I'm,
so you mean like Shoto
yeah,
players who play multiple Shotos? Well, if you think
yeah,
they're
that's what I'm thinking.
even if they play multiple Shotos and you think the Ryu is top three, yeah, list them.
Okay. I guess so. I'm gonna put me there. I think.
I agree. I agree.
That's one. Not a bad start. I'm gonna throw Vendetta. I think Vendetta has a good Ryu.
Agree.
I think Munikin from Japan and Asimo from Japan are both really really good with Ryu.
Okay.
That's two American, two Japanese, and part of me wants to throw in either Maeda or Ken as the fifth.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, actually, who is Maeda?
Maeda is a European, I think French. Is he French? No. Let me look up.
Oh yeah,
You
Jazzo.
don't.
I actually got to meet Jazzo this weekend. Shouts to Jazzo.
Nazo is great. He went. Did you know he went to all three as well?
Really?
Yeah, he's actually insane, and he got top 64 at a lot of them. So I'm really
Let's
happy for
go,
him.
Jazzo.
Maeda is the best Ryu and Ken from France. He hasn't gone to a tournament since February 2022, but something that's crazy is I think he's like one of the most technically like sound Ryus in the world. So I want to say those five.
Okay.
I haven't seen enough of him play, so again, I'm not gonna put him there. I'm gonna put Andres over him. I think it's gonna be Andres, Vendetta, me, Munikin, Asimo, top five.
All right. Good to know. Good to know.
Yes. Also, people have asked about it. On the sticky kill, did you
I reacted his shield.
react to the shield?
Well,
Okay.
I reacted his shield to stick him, and then I did double jump reset. So basically, what that means is I'm at kill percent, and C4 is plus on shield. So if he tries to bring C4 towards me, because I know Zamba, like, if I so but based on the type of player that Zamba is, if I stick Zamba, I think he'd think it's really funny if he used like an invuln option and rolled into me and made me kill myself with C4. So, um, I double
Nice.
jumped away and C forward because if he shields it, it's plus on block. If he does
Yep.
it through roll, then I don't lose anything because I'm on the platform and back air has too much startup to kill me for the startup of C4 detonation. So I just so happened to time with the double jump when he did roll and I got it and I mean, people are like, in general, like, how did you feel? Like, I don't know. That's just, I'm used to I'm used to playing like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm used to doing stuff like that. So it didn't feel any different. Like, I've had more intense moments in tournaments like that, but they're not like on stream like that, so people don't see. But like I think in general, when it comes with competing at like the major level, like when stuff like that happens, it like from an outside perspective, from a spectator perspective, they're like, oh, that's so sick, that's hype. But like, I just I just made a play. Like you know, I just played the game. It was another day in the office, and I managed to pull it out and clutch it. So
These things are just natural sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes you just go
yeah,
for a read, sometimes you go for a jump call out, sometimes you go for a roll read. It's just kind of how it goes.
yeah. You just play enough, and sometimes you do it, and you don't really think past. You don't think too much about it past just doing it. So
Sometimes when you think too much about the external like things of what if, I feel like you play worse.
yeah,
So
literally, quite literally, just a day in the life. Like that's it.
exactly.
So um, overall, I think it was like a super fun event. Like low tide pound. Like would do it again. And I was able to go to a local and meet some people yesterday and pull that out too. So it's like definitely making sure because sometimes like after majors you'll go to a local and you'll bust her. So it's like happy for that not to happen because like sometimes like I feel like majors are like processing periods after. So sometimes when your brain's in a jumble and you need to process everything, your gameplay is like gonna be unorganized because you haven't figured it out yet. So it's
Mhm.
like being able to come back from a major and still clutch it out against the local homies. Definitely a great feeling because then it feels like before we had that mentality talk, I felt like I was like falling off on like a local level in terms of like where like direction and just where I wanted to be. So after our talk, I was able to basically mend it and have a better idea of what direction to push myself in. So that's always great to be able to follow through not only on a major level but on a local level too. And one last thing I want to say is it definitely annoys me a lot through the tournament. But shout out or throughout the event, not the tournament, like the event besides the tournament, but shout out to being better in tournament. I myself, I don't know why, but subconsciously I think my brain will like power up with stakes on the line. Like I'm worse in friendlies, worse in money matches, but when I get into tournament, my brain is just on it. Like never like just never falters compared to like I don't have nerves anymore because I think like I've just went to so many tournaments. It's like there's nothing that hasn't happened already, really. And if it does, then instead of being nervous about that, I welcome it so I can learn. Like when you embrace it and you don't run from the things that are uncertain, like you're just like, how can I make it certain? How can I know? Nothing,
Mhm.
anything that hits you, you're like at first you're like, oh, but it's like, okay, so like, cool. Now next time when that happens, I'll just be like, yep, that happened before. Okay, let's do it. But like when I when I'm in tournament, I play better, and I feel like at majors, like just being able to replicate that, and not just locals and regionals. Like, for example, Tanner, he was like I don't want to say like choking at majors, but we know how good Skittles is. We know
Oh,
how good Skittles is.
we
Like
know.
so with that 17 to Genesis, like you really love to see it for him just being able to put it on at like an international level because like
Mhm.
we know he is that good. Like Skittles is literally farming the Midwest right now. Like I need to stop that man. Like he has to be stopped.
Guy
Like
needs to go.
literally.
So good. I mean, there's the meme of like ZD at a local, like
Oh no, not ZDL local.
Skittles at a regional, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Or, like Leo from Losers, right?
yeah.
Or like this is the meme when people play better in a certain environment. Oh my god, I remember Trade War made like a top 10 players of Chicago, like when the Chicago players are the best, and one of them was like Sam T. Silver when he has Taco Bell, Raven King when he's not in school, right? It was just like
Yo, Raven King was
pulled
not in
all the
school.
players back, right? It was so funny. Like
Yeah,
like Ice Baby comes back from a major, right? It was just like it was so funny. I don't
yeah.
know. It was a huge fan.
Yo, shout out to Rickles as well. What's up? What's up?
Yeah. We have 10 minutes until the tech reveal. Um, are we missing anything?
Yeah, we're missing anything? Well, oh, Raven King said you forgot the most important one. I can, a Raven King at 300%.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know the history behind that, but I'm
yeah.
gonna agree with you.
All right, yeah. Raven King be clutching out game 5 against me. I'm gonna take my first set against you offline, Raven King. Don't think I don't know that you're 2-0 on me. Don't think I don't know that, bro. I'm getting that set. Just you wait.
No,
That's right. Yeah, he knows. He knows. He knows.
no.
Yeah, he's trying to be slick. Nope.
My favorite thing about Raven King is I remember one day I was streaming, and then he just hopped in my chat. He was like, "Yo, can I three stock you one time?" And I was like, "I know. You don't have to say that, okay?" I'm well
Damn,
aware.
Raven King, we didn't deny it, bro. Like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna deny it. You know, right?
okay. Why do you think Ally was so good at Snake, and what allowed him to become top 5 in the world, plays better than current Snakes?
Early meta.
Early meta, along with he was very, very smart at using Snake's tools, along with knowing like his positioning and his baits were like above the rest. I'm in my opinion. He got ranked 6th in the world throwing sets. Like what? That is nuts. But in general, Snake is really good early meta, and I think like today he would still be doing really well if he was at like national tournaments. But I think it really was just like, and even in Brawl, he was just like the Snake above everyone else, right? So it's like he just meshes with the character, and just like he could get in people's heads super well and just box a Snake and use his normals in a way that people just found super hard to deal with. Ever played T3 Dom? No, but I'd like to. But
Oh, this is the Kirby Kid clip. Nice, cool.
yeah, the Kirby Kid clip. Oh my goodness, the double backer. When you gonna stop dodging me? Never. I'm eternally scared of Wolf Pro. I will never not cower in fear against Wolf Pro. Final answer. I will be at SLU today, Wolf Pro, so if you don't go today, you're dodging me. Thank you for the follow, Mike. As a DK man and competitive player, do you think playing a mid-tier heavy will hold you back? It depends on your goals. Do you want to be top 10 in the world, or do you want to be a top player? Like, just you want to be like top 50, top 100? Because you can get top 50, top 100 with DK. You're not going to be top 10 in the world with Donkey Kong, though. So it's like, it depends on your like aspirations as a player, because the higher level play that you get, the more your character's strength matters. Like, at a local level, it doesn't matter if you're DK, because you can just outplay the other players. But when they know DK's weaknesses and they're no longer playing against you as a player, they're just oppressing your character, because sometimes DK has to hold that. Then you're going to have to deal with that, and that's where it'll be like, DK's holding me back. But I feel like the line where the character holds you back is a lot higher than people give it credit for. If that
I
makes
agree
sense.
completely. I think it's like, sorry, I'm looking for headphones. It's like top, honestly,
Yeah, top
20.
100, like, or yeah, top. Well, with it depends part of the tier list, but I'd say yeah, top 50, like top 40 is where you can make an argument, but really at top 20, they're going to be playing optimal. Like, look at Slushy V1, I think is his name.
Yes.
He's a Donkey Kong who's beating Pikachu's. That's all you need to know. He's beating the Pikachu players and placing pretty well. So shouts to Slushy. How good am I at wave bounce neutral B? I am trash at wave bouncing. I only be reverse.
Are you?
Yeah, no, I only be reverse and turn around B. Everyone thinks I do a wave bounce when I do a B reverse, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, like no, I don't wave bounce. I don't do it. I'm bad at it.
Well, actually, I'm gonna steal that. Pro tip: I am okay at wave bounce neutral B, but I'm very good at wave bounce down B.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Wave bounce down B. I actually do that on accident sometimes. That one's easier.
Yeah, that was very easy.
There's an Isabel and Orion top 100. Yeah, that's literally like just like what we were saying. Just it's not always the character. In general though, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to